Hello, and thank you for joining us on episode 1 of Wait, What? Really? This episode is 5 minutes long. Because this is episode 1, I encourage you to listen to the intro if you need more information about this channel. Okay, let's get right into it. The question is, if Christians can only be saved by Jesus, how were people before Jesus was born saved? This is a great question, and one that many people have asked, hence why it is question number 1. So how do we get to go to heaven when we die? Is it only through Jesus, or is there another way? If Jesus is the only way, how were people able to get to heaven before he was born? Let's dig deeper. We must start with a standard baseline, and that is this. Number 1, the Bible is true, and number 2, Jesus is telling us the truth. Many people believe that the law of Moses was how people were saved, but Abraham, for example, who is considered the father of the faith, lived before the law was given to Moses, as did countless other people. So, could it be by keeping the law? Maybe they were saved by a different means than Christians are today. Here's the answer. Faith has always been the way people are saved. That has stayed the same. One must put their faith in God for salvation, not themselves or anything else. Now that you know the answer, let's take a look at a few scriptures that support this answer. All of the scripture references I'm giving are from the New Living Translation, or the NLT. Genesis chapter 15, verse 6 says, "And Abraham believed the Lord, and the Lord counted him as righteous because of his faith." Psalm chapter 2, verse 12. "Submit to God's royal Son, or he will become angry, and you will be destroyed in the midst of all your activities. For his anger flares up in an instant, but what joy for all who take refuge in him." Romans chapter 4, verse 3. For the scripture tells us, quote, "Abraham believed God, and God counted him as righteous because of his faith." Hebrews chapter 10, verse 1. The old system under the law of Moses was only a shadow, a dim preview of the good things to come, not the good things themselves. The sacrifices under that system were repeated again and again, year after year, but they were never able to provide perfect cleansing for those who came to worship. Our final verse is John chapter 14, verse 6, where Jesus himself is going to say this, and he's really cementing the fact that it is only by faith in him that anyone gets to the Father or into heaven. Jesus told them, quote, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one can come to the Father except through me." End quote. Okay, so here is a practical example to help you show and tell others this very concept. I love the way Shai Linne puts it in his song, Random Thoughts 3. He says, quote, "Before the cross, they were saved on credit. After the cross, we've been saved on debit." End quote. It really is true, and that is an example for Christians to use to explain this concept to others. I mean, really think about it. Wrap your noodle around that for a moment. Wow. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. Now, listen, there are many other biblical references and examples of how people were and still are being saved only by faith in Jesus. He's the creator. He's the author. He's the finisher of our faith. And I encourage you, please continue the discussion with a local Bible-believing church where you live. We look forward to your comments and questions. Remember, we are imperfect people being perfected by a perfect God. Please treat others the way you want Christians to treat you and how Christ has treated the Christian. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you in our next episode.